Hello. Today we're going to talk distributors. I'm going to take two and make one good one out of it. The first thing that I noticed is this is a distributor out of the truck that I just took apart and used the motor out of. That's the one that's in the project truck right now. This distributor, it worked, but there are some things wrong with it. Okay. So the first thing is that the mechanical advance mechanism on this distributor is just gone. If you can see, there's when you hit this, it does nothing. It's the springs are gone, it's loose, and there it was just flapping around. Okay, so that's the first thing. The first thing that the mechanical advance for centrifugal force wasn't working, which is a plus because this distributor is one that I've had for a while and it was in a working truck, and this one is working. See how it springs back? That is how it's supposed to work. That's a mechanical centrifugal force. That's an advance, okay? The other thing you got to check is you got to check the vacuum canister. Now this one is broke. This one is gone. This one doesn't hold any air, doesn't pull any vacuum. See, it's real simple. There's two bolts, two nut screws right here. You bend this tab up a little bit. This little tab right here, you bend it up, you take it out, you swap them out. Now this one is solid, and I wire wheeled it just to clean it up a little bit. But this one now, when you put suction on it, it does advance the distributor. So now the vacuum advance is also working. And I know that this module is working, and I know because you've seen it run, you know that this module is working. If you're here and you're watching, like, share, and subscribe. Smash that like button. And so I know this one is good, so I'm not going to have to deal with the module. Now, you remember that the rats got to it. We know that module works. And there's still some parts on this that you can use, but it's been beat up. It was in that truck for a long time. This is pretty much as good as it gets for used parts. All this is just used parts. Now the one thing I do want to say is that there's a couple things that I will spend money on, and it's distributor caps, rotor bugs, ignition parts. I will spend money on ignition parts because it's the worst thing in the world to have a module go out on you when you're middle of the road, when you're out there in the boonies and a module goes out on you. It sucks. So, because there is no hot wire you can do that. If that module goes out, you're stranded. Okay. Now, the other thing that I do, I've already cleaned this up a little bit. I cleaned this housing up a little bit. I spend money on caps and rotors and things like that. So I did run out and I did get a new cap for this AC Delco. Always AC Delco. Those things last forever in the truck. 40 years old. I don't know if this is the cap that was on the one that was running in the parts truck, and I don't know if it's an AC Delco or not, but I mean, come on, guys. The AC Delcos, they run 200,000 miles and they last. So I don't buy cheap off-brand Amazon knockoffs. I buy AC Delco parts. All right, so basically there's only one way for these to go on, because they have a little tab on them, and that tab's got to go in a specific place, just like that. Okay, now with this distributor sitting in the motor, this should be number one. Knowing that's number one, because I don't ever stab a distributor with the cap on it. Okay, so when we put the distributor in, I want to know exactly where number one cylinder should be for this cap. So I'm just going to mark it on the base where number one cylinder is. That way, when you pull it off and you're stabbing it and you're dropping it, you're trying to get it to go in, you know when your rotor bug's on, that's number one. It's that simple. I mean, it's a nice little hack, and it saved my bacon many, many, many times, and it'll save yours. I'm going to reuse the coil because I know the coil is good because it was running. I'm going to reuse the coil off of the old cap. I bought a new AC Delco rotor bug. You know, all new AC Delco. It's a very simple process of changing out a coil from cap to cap. It's just basically 2 1/4-inch. You can use a 1/4-inch nut driver. Pull the cap off. Same thing now. We have 1/4-inch screws going through the coil into the cap itself. If need be, you can use and we'll just pull these out and make sure that they're clean. All right, that is your ground wire. Don't ever forget your ground wire. If you do one of these and you forget that center ground wire, you're going to pay for it. You're going to be chasing something all day long, and you don't want to do that. And in the box with your distributor cap should be a new biscuit. I call it a biscuit. I don't know if you know what the electrical name is for it. If you know what the actual technical term for it is, bleep bloop it down there below in the comments. But it's just a spring-loaded. It's just a rubber grommet and a spring-loaded cap. That's what you get your electrical connection to through the coil. All right. While in Rome, use the new stuff. And this one actually had a pretty new one in it already, so we should be pretty good. I think this might be an AC Delco replacement already in it. So, and it's just a matter of pressing them back in to the holes they came from. You do with your finger, and then here we go. Then same thing, just take the ground wire and put it back in place. And there's little wire holders here on the coil that you can use to hold them in place. Just keep them where they need to be. And then it's just a matter of screwing it back on. You can take a little brake clean or whatever, but let me show you a little secret. I'll show you a little hack. Hand cleaner. Just regular O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever you want to use. It's just hand cleaner. If it's good enough to take grease off of your hands that are old, nasty, stuck on grease, it's good enough to take the little dust and crud that's on this cap and make it look new again too. And the great thing about it is that you can just use a paper towel and wipe it off. But if your hands are already dirty, you're cleaning up your hands while doing it. You're cleaning while cleaning. Cleaning while cleaning? Cleaning while cleaning, yeah. It might have a couple spots that might be a little dusty on it, but this hand cleaner does amazing things. And that's all I did when I cleaned the round on this. Just hand cleaner and just wiped it off. Works like a charm. It's magic. And then just take a towel and just wipe it off. Look at there. Like new. All right. Then just back on top she goes. And just use your 2 little cover screws. New, ready to go. And then, like I said, it's only got one way to go. There's a little knob on there. It'll only let it go in one way. Now, you don't necessarily have to throw this away because you know there's good parts on it that you can use, including the shaft. And, you know, sometimes these get ate up. You find an old project that it's just a matter of drifting the pin out and cleaning it and using it. So a decent unbroken base sometimes is useful. So this will go on the shelf for future use. Might do like a rebuild kit on the springs, and there's bushings in here. So we might someday, or we might need one of those. Might be broken in a different project, but you just don't never know. So keep some stuff like this, like I did this one. This one was in the closet for 10 years, but I knew it worked because it came off a different project. That's it. That's how you rehab. You take a couple and make one good out of 2. Now, sometimes I've had to take 3 to make one go with because a vacuum canister was bad and the advance wasn't working and the pickup wasn't working and this or that and everything. But this time I got pretty lucky. I knew that distributor worked and I wanted to replace some parts and get some good parts on there instead of the old ones that were like old. And I knew that the mechanical advance wasn't working and the vacuum can wasn't working. So it had a bad vacuum leak and the mechanical, it wasn't running as well as it could. So even as well as that one did, which if you want to see that video, I'll pop it right up here right now, about starting it up just in the truck before I yanked it, it could run even better. And by doing this, it's going to run even better. It's going to be tunable because this old distributor with the vacuum canister being busted and the mechanical vacuum advance not working at all, it wasn't running near as well as it could, which it ran great. It runs great with that old busted distributor in it. So I'm really happy. I'm excited about how well this is going to run and with tuning and everything. And with that timing tape on there, it's going to be even easier. So we'll be able to verify visually that that distributor now is doing what it's supposed to do. Hey, since you're here, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel because there's going to be more good stuff like this in the future.